Though outside of the prajnaparamita one is able to conquer the superknowledge of magic, the latter will never equal the mathematical knowledge of which I have just spoken. This is why the prajnaparamita says that in order to obtain this great power of magic, it is necessary to practice the perfection of wisdom. 2. Mastering the water element. Some say that water is the greatest of all substances. Why? Because at the zenith, at the nadir and at the 4 cardinal points of the great earth, there is no place where there is no water. If the Lokapala gods did not moderate the rain of the heavenly Nagas, and if there were no jewel to disperse the waters, heaven and earth would collapse. Furthermore, it is as a result of the waters that the classes of animate and inanimate beings in the world take birth and grow. That is why we can know that water is very great. This is why the Buddha says here that the bodhisattva who wishes to know the number of drops of water and to disperse them drop by drop so that they have no more power, must practice the perfection of wisdom. 3. Mastering the fire element. Some say that the fire element is the greatest. Why? Because it has no odor or taste, and because if water greatly overflows its banks, fire can destroy it. The power of fire is so great that it can burn the 10,000 things and illuminate all the shadows. From that, we know that fire is very great. This is why the Buddha says here that the bodhisattva who wishes to extinguish the great fire by his breath should practice the perfection of wisdom. Question. But it is thanks to the wind that fire is finally kindled. How then do wind and fire mutually destroy each other? Answer. Although they are mutual causes, they destroy each other in time. Question. So be it. But fire is immense, whereas the bodhisattva's breath is very small. How can it destroy fire? Answer. Thanks to his dhyanas and absorptions, the bodhisattva who is cultivating the prajnaparamita attains a magical superknowledge thanks to which he can change his body and make it bigger. The breath from his mouth equally increases and can extinguish the fire. Moreover, thanks to magical power, a small wind is able to destroy, just as a small thunderbolt is able to break up a big mountain. This is why, in view of this magical power, gods and men all submit. Furthermore, because fire devastates vast spaces, the bodhisattva has compassion for beings and destroys the fire by his magical power. Finally, establishing a trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu is very difficult, but by his merits and his wisdom, the bodhisattva is able to govern it. 4. Mastering the wind element. Some say that, of the 4 great elements, the power of the wind is the greatest. Having neither form nor odor nor taste, its mobility is very great. Just as space is infinite, so wind too is infinite. The success or failure of giving birth depends on wind. The power of the great winds shakes the mountains of the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu. This is why the Buddha says here that the bodhisattva who wishes to stop the force of the winds with one finger should practice the perfection of wisdom. Why? Because the true nature of the prajnaparamita is immense and infinite, it can make the finger have such strength. Akasadatis Purana. 4th section, filling all of space. Sutra. Furthermore, Sariputra, the bodhisattva-mahasattva should practice the perfection of wisdom if he wants, by means of one single paryanka, to fill the entire space element in the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu. Sastra. Question. Why does the bodhisattva sit cross-legged in this way? Answer. Brahma Devaraha, who rules the Trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu, had some wrong ideas and considered himself to be great. But when he saw the bodhisattva, sitting cross-legged and filling space, his proud thoughts vanished. Moreover, by his skillful means coming from this magical superknowledge. Being many, he becomes one, being small he becomes large, being large he becomes small and, if he wants to manifest extraordinary things, he is able to sit and fill all of space. Finally, it is in order to prevent the asuras and the nagarajas from tormenting beings that the bodhisattva sits and fills space, thus assuring the safety of beings. Nandopanandanagarajadamanasutra. Thus, when the nagarajas nan-to and po-nan-to, the older and the younger, wanted to destroy the city of Sravasti, they rained down weapons and poisonous snakes, but mou-lien, at that time properly seated, filled space and changed the offensive weapons into perfumed flowers and necklaces. This is why the Prajnaparamita says here that the bodhisattva-mahasattva should practice the perfection of wisdom if, by means of a single paryanka, he wants to fill all the space in the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu. Ekapindapata. 5th section, casting the Mount Sumeris far away. Sutra. Furthermore, the bodhisattva-mahasattva should practice the perfection of wisdom if he wants, by means of a single hair, having raised up all the Sumeris, king of the mountains, in the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu, to cast them beyond innumerable and incalculable universes, without harming the beings in them. Sastra. Question. How can the bodhisattva raise the Mount Sumeris and the mountains and cast them far away beyond the innumerable universes of the other directions? Answer. He has no need of a lever, and this emphasizes the power of the bodhisattva who is able to lift up the mountains. Moreover, when the Buddha is going to preach the Dharma, the bodhisattvas first adorn the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu and remove the mountains so that the ground is leveled out. Sad Dharma Pundarika Sutra. See what was said in the Fa Hua King. When the Buddha Sakyamuni was about to join the emanated Buddhas, he first leveled out the ground and also, wanting to manifest extraordinary things, he made it so that beings could see them. How is that? Each Mount Sumeru has a height of 1,000 yojanas. To raise up one single Sumeru is already extraordinary. To say nothing about when the bodhisattva raises the 100 kotis of Sumeris in the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu. To say nothing about raising with a single hair the 100 kotis of Sumeris in the trisahasramahasahasralokadhatu and casting them out beyond innumerable and incalculable universes. The beings who see this extraordinary exploit of the bodhisattva all produce the mind of supreme complete enlightenment and have the following thought. If this bodhisattva who has not yet attained the body of the Buddhas possesses such magical power, what will it be when he becomes Buddha? That is why the Prajnaparamita Sutra spoke thus. 6th section, honoring all the Buddhas by means of a single offering. Sutra. The bodhisattva-mahasattva must practice the perfection of wisdom if he wishes, by means of one and the same morsel of food, to satisfy all the Buddhas and the disciples present in each of the 10 directions in universes as numerous as the sands of the Ganges. The bodhisattva-mahasattva must practice the perfection of wisdom if he wishes, by means of one and the same object. Garment, flower, perfume, necklace, powder, unguent, incense, lamp, banner, parasol, etc. To honor all the Buddhas and the disciples. Sastra. Question. To offer one and the same morsel of food to a single Buddha and his